We're looking at how to read a histogram, and a few key things come up. First, we need to understand the idea of intervals. Intervals are the data ranges given to us. So in this case, I have intervals from 0 to 10, 11 to 21, 22 to 20 to 32, and so on. An important thing to note, intervals must all have the same range of units. So the same number. From 0 to 10, there's actually 11 units there. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is actually 11. 11 to 21, 22 to 32, 33 to 43. These are all of your intervals. From there, the next thing we need to know is our frequency. Our frequency is telling us how often a data point within this set occurs within that interval. For example, this graph is looking at salaries of the Acme Corporation. The salaries are in thousands of dollars. So 0 to 10 would be $0 to $10,000. And if I look where that frequency is, I'm going to estimate that's about 50. So approximately 50 people had salaries at the Acme Corporation between 0 to 10,000. I could look at this 33 to 43 range, and I see that about 400 employees had salaries between $33 to $43,000. Or if I came over here to the 66 to 76, that's maybe a little bit more than halfway, so not 250, maybe 255, 260 people had salaries between 66 to 76,000. So now looking at this graph on tree heights, we see that the height is given to us in centimeters and that the frequency is the number of trees. So our first interval is from 100 to, well, what happens here? It wouldn't be 100 to 150. This is a no. Because the next interval would be 150 to 200. Well, what would happen there if we had a tree? What if the tree height was exactly 150 centimeters? Which would it go into? This is where we have to be really good at reading our graphs. So instead, what we're looking at is intervals that go from 100 to 149.99999, or anything close to 150, from 150 to 199, if you want, again, with as many tenths as we can, 200 to 249, and so on. So what are the intervals for this graph? We just answered that. Therefore, if we had a tree that was 150 centimeters, it would clearly go into this range and would be part of the frequency of 30 trees. Our second question, approximately how many trees had a height greater than 250 centimeters? Well, greater than 250 centimeters are going to be these two intervals. So my first bar shows me that there were 50 trees between 200 to 299. And my second interval, I'm going to have to estimate a little. That might be either 11 or 12. I'll just go with 12. So I'm going to say approximately 62 trees had heights greater than 250 centimeters. And again, approximately was part of that, so I could estimate. Your last step is to answer these two questions. What are the intervals for this graph? And approximately how many participants were between the ages of 30 to 49? Go ahead and push pause and come up to see me with your answer.